Hi, I'm Vanessa from SpeakEnglishWithVanessa.com. Have you ever forgotten the words that you just learned in English? Let's talk about it. Imagine that you're working hard studying English. You're watching my lessons, you're reading books, you're watching movies, and then you go to have a conversation in English and your mind is blank. All of these wonderful vocabulary words that you just learned have gone in one ear and out the other. Has that ever happened to you? Well, if it has, first of all, you're not alone. This can be really scary and feel disappointing. You work so hard, so why can't you remember these words? Well, never fear. Today, I want to give you a plan to help you remember what you've learned. And of course, like always, I have created a free PDF worksheet for you that you can download right now. It will include all of these tricks for remembering words that you want to use in conversations, all of the sample sentences, and at the bottom of the free PDF worksheet, you can answer Vanessa's challenge question. There's a link in the description and you can download it right now. All right, so what is the big trick to remembering words that you want to use in conversations? The most important thing is to have a lot of input and a lot of output in different ways. So I have created 4 steps, and we are going to use each of these 4 steps today to help you remember some important phrases. Let's imagine that you want to remember this phrase, ever since. Maybe you heard me use it in a video. I found Vanessa's English lessons 6 months ago, and I've been passionate about English ever since. Oh, this is a great phrase. You want to be able to use it too, but when you have an English conversation, you know that you're just gonna forget it. So what can you do? Well, let's go through the 4 steps so that you can remember this lovely phrase, ever since. Step number 1 is to look up the word in a dictionary. You need to know the basic meaning. I recommend using an English dictionary. If this is too tricky for you, maybe you are a pretty low beginner, it's okay to use a translated dictionary, but if you are a little bit above a beginner, if you can understand this lesson in English, I recommend using an English dictionary. This way you are immersing yourself in English. So look it up in the dictionary, in your notebook, write down the definition. Oh, ever since means from that moment. Okay. But I need a little bit more than that. So you can use a pronunciation dictionary or a dictionary in context, such as this website, Youglish. Youglish is awesome because you can type any phrase and it will find somewhere that uses this phrase in a video. Beautiful. You've got context, you've got pronunciation, you've got some kind of interest because there's a topic. So let's watch a clip from Youglish where you'll see ever since used.
Ever since I was probably 5 years old, I always wanted to work with animals. Ever since I was probably 5 years old, I always wanted to work with animals.
Excellent. Now that you have the definition, you've watched it on Youglish, you can make your own sentence in your notebook. So you might say, ever since I found Vanessa's lessons, I have been passionate about English. Lovely. Let's go on to step number 2, which is to listen for that phrase in movies, TV shows, or songs. These common phrases come up all the time, so when you can hear them, you'll get more context for how to use them and you won't forget them. Let's take a look at a quick clip from a movie called Ernest Saves Christmas, where you'll hear the phrase ever since. Let's watch.
Christmas is just about my favorite time. Ever since I was a little kid, I always felt like it was my own personal holiday. Christmas is just about my favorite time. Ever since I was a little kid, I always felt like it was my own personal holiday.
You heard him say, ever since I was a little kid, I felt like Christmas was my own personal holiday. Ever since I was a little kid. So at that moment, from that moment, he has always felt like Christmas was his own personal holiday, basically for his whole life. Let's take a look at this in a song. Unfortunately, I can't play this song for you because YouTube will have some problems with my video. But in this Harry Styles song, he says, I've been praying ever since New York. Okay, well, he went to New York City and something happened and he has needed to pray. From that moment, from that trip, until now. Ever since New York, I've been praying. I've been praying ever since New York. Great, you've got more input by finding it, listening for it in media. Let's go on to step number 3. Step number 3 is to look for this phrase in a book. Are you noticing a theme here? The more input you have, the easier it will be to remember this phrase. So let's take a look at a quote from a book that uses ever since. I'm going to read this phrase for you here. Author Rupi Kapoor says, "I felt like you threw me so far from myself. I've been trying to find my way back ever since." So he was in a relationship that really made him feel unsteady. And when that relationship ended, he's been trying to find himself again. So he says, "I've been trying to find my way back to myself ever since." So since that person threw him, so far it's a little poetic here, he's been trying to find his way back ever since, from that moment. Beautiful. All right, and step number 4 is to use it in a conversation. When you have been focusing on the phrase ever since, in books, in movies, in TV shows, in Youglish, in the dictionary, writing those sentences down, it is in your mind. It is stuck in your mind. So you can consciously, this means you make the decision to use this phrase the next time you have a conversation. So you might say, "I started watching cartoons in English when I was a child, and I've been excited about English ever since." If someone asks you, "Oh, your English is pretty good. How did you get started learning English?" You could use this phrase. "Oh, well, I've been watching cartoons since I was a kid, and I've been excited about English ever since, from the moment I was a child until now." And it's continuing into the future, ever since. Success. You have used this phrase in a conversation. All right, now that we've learned ever since, let's learn a second expression using these 4 steps just to help reinforce how it works. The next expression is to seal the deal. To seal the deal. You might say, "Yeah, I've been kind of interested in English for a couple years, but when I found Vanessa's lessons, that sealed the deal." Oh, what could this mean? You might have heard me use this expression in my videos, but now you want to dig deeper and use it yourself. So let's follow these 4 steps. Step number 1 is to look it up in the dictionary. So you look it up in the dictionary and you see that it means to make something official. It wasn't official before, and now it's official. But how is this really used? So you look it up on Youglish to get some ideas. Let's watch one of those clips.
Want to become an astrophysicist? Hopefully this video will seal the deal, either that you definitely should or definitely should not. Want to become an astrophysicist? Hopefully this video will seal the deal, either that you definitely should or definitely should not.
All right, now you have a little more context. You've heard the pronunciation. Now it's time to make your own sentence. You might say, "I wasn't sure if I wanted to take this English course, but after reading the reviews, that sealed the deal. It made it official. I decided to join the course." And just a little note, both of these expressions today, ever since and sealed the deal, are expressions that you will learn in my course, The Fearless Fluency Club. I hope that this review will seal the deal for you. Our member, Helly, said, "This is the best course I've ever had." I'm so happy that she found a great course that's a good fit for her, and I hope it could be a good fit for you too. If you want to express yourself completely and speak English confidently, expand your vocabulary, this is the place for you. You'll be able to use real American English vocabulary so that you can say exactly what you want to say. You'll be able to use common phrasal verbs for daily life so that you can speak like an American. And you'll be able to use American English pronunciation so that you can speak clearly and understandably. There is a link in the description where you can join the Fearless Fluency Club and get a $60 discount. That is in the link in the description. So if you want to join in another place, you might pay full price, but if you click the link in the description, you'll get to save $60. I hope you can join me and thousands of other motivated English learners in the Fearless Fluency Club. All right, let's continue learning to seal the deal with step number 2. Step number 2 for remembering new words is to listen for that word or phrase in a movie, a TV show, or a song. This expression, to seal the deal, was used in the famous movie Wedding Crashers. Let's watch a quick clip, listen for the expression to seal the deal, and then we'll talk about it.
This is completely against the rules. You have a wedding and a reception to seal the deal, period. This is completely against the rules. You have a wedding and a reception to seal the deal, period.
You heard a guy very emphatically, a little angry, say, you have a wedding and a reception to seal the deal. Well, when you get married, it's pretty official, right? And most people in the US will have a wedding. This is a ceremony, something official, and then a reception. Usually there's eating, sometimes there's dancing, and that seals the deal. That makes it official. You have a wedding and a reception to seal the deal, and you're married. Great, so let's move on to step number 3, which is to look for this phrase in a book that you're reading. Carrie Walsh used this phrase. She says, "We want to seal the deal that we're the best team that's ever happened." Okay, they don't want any doubt in anyone's mind that they are the best team. We want to seal the deal that we're the best team. And when you see that phrase in the book, you'll say, "Oh, I know that phrase. Oh, what is that? Seal the deal. Seal the deal that we're the best team." There's no certainty. This is absolutely the way it is. It's official. Yes, I learned that phrase. So it's another way to add that to your memory. All right, let's go on to step number 4. Step number 4 is to use it in a conversation. So let's imagine that you took a new job. You might say, "Yeah, I had an interview for a job and I wasn't so sure about it. But after learning more about the company and meeting the boss and some of the employees, I decided to seal the deal and join the company." Okay, you decided to take the job. You could say, "I decided to take the job," or you could use this beautiful phrase, seal the deal. I decided to seal the deal and take the job. Lovely. So how did you do? I hope that you can remember those 2 phrases ever since and seal the deal because we followed these 4 steps. You can take this knowledge into your English learning and follow these steps with any phrase. I recommend downloading the free PDF worksheet that goes with this lesson so that you never forget these 4 steps, and you can see several examples and sample sentences. And at the bottom of the free PDF worksheet, you can answer Vanessa's challenge question. I hope this will help you to have some courage in your English as you speak. Well, thank you so much for learning English with me, and I'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye!
The next step is to download the free PDF worksheet for this lesson. With this free PDF, you will master today's lesson and never forget what you have learned. You can be a confident English speaker. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for a free English lesson every Friday. Bye!